There's some amazing legendary cards in Hearthstone right now. They just have awesome synergies. The card art is amazing. They're very strong cards that help you win games. And then there's a couple that are not so good. And then there's these. There's a lot of legendary cards right now that are in standard that are just totally unplayable or haven't seen any play. So I'd like to go through these right now and say, hey, you know, some of these might be good to dust. Some of these might be good to keep. We don't know what's going on. You know, 2024 is going to have a new mini set in a couple of weeks. It's going to have, you know, the new expansion's going to be announced in a month or two. And before you know it, all of the core set is being changed. So remember, you might not want to dust any of these cards. You might want to hold on to them, but if you need to craft a card here or there, I'm going to go through some of the ones that you're probably pretty safe to dust. Let's go right into it right now. So I went into hsreplay.net and I pulled standard last, you know, the Hearthstone 28.2.3, so there's a little bit of room here. And I looked at percentage of decks that these cards are in. I just grabbed legendaries. I grabbed all of standard. I didn't do any of the core cards, I think. We'll see what happens. And the first one that's coming up is 0.010% is Hedra the Heretic. Battle cry for each spell you've cast while holding this. Summon a minion of that spell's cost. I don't see this being played. As you can tell, it's the lowest played rate in the game right now based on HS Replay. If you're playing anything for Druid, you're playing Dragons. You're not playing this one. I think this one would be safe to dust. Absolutely, I would do it if I needed that dust. Next up, Kael'thas Sinstrider. It was a cool card that was played in the beginning of its release, and then it kind of just died off. It's not very useful right now. Could there be something in the future? Yes, absolutely. There could be something in the future, but I don't see it today. I would say, hey, if I had this one and I needed dust, I would dust this one. Cryrix the Voracious. I'm going to say that wrong. It's a Demon Hunter card, and Demon Hunters are dealing with some stuff right now. The only good Demon Hunter deck right now, throwing up hand quotes, is aggro Demon Hunter. I think there's a little bit of a Naga Demon Hunter that's moving up. I don't see this in either one of those decks. It might be safe for you to dust. Bone Lord Frost Whisper. The death rattle is funny. For the rest of the game, your first card each turn costs 0. You die in 3 turns. No thank you. Don't want it. Nope. I'm not playing this card. Me personally, if I had this, I would be dusting this immediately. I just don't see the payoff unless you have a deck that's set up with huge minions after turn 6 or huge cards with big mana costs. Because listen, you got 3 turns and then you're dead. I don't see this whatsoever. Baroness Vashish. If this would transform into a minion, summon that minion instead. Naga, this saw play, but it doesn't see play anymore. I'd say this might be a little safe to dust, excuse me. Elder Nadox. Destroy a friendly undead. Your minions gain its attack. It's a cool minion with cool stats. The problem is, it's an undead. And like I said, if you're playing Druid right now, you're playing Treants or you're playing Dragons. You are not playing Undead. This one would be safe to dust, excuse me. Lady Ashvane, Battle Cry. Give all weapons in your hand, deck, and battlefield, +1/+1. This has utility in some small amounts of decks being played for Warrior. It's just not being played right now. Zogfloxnot. I love this one. This one was super fun, and it got some really crazy Quillboard taunts on board when it first came out. It's just not seeing played anymore. Again, we're going to go through, and I'm probably going to say this more, if more Druid cards come up. If it's a Druid card being played, I'm not playing Quillboard, I'm not playing Undead, I'm playing Treants or Dragons or something of that sort. Commander Ulthok. Your opponent's cards cost health instead of mana next turn. Haven't seen it played. I don't think I've ever seen this card being played. It might have been fun when it first came out, but it's just, I'm not seeing it right now. Okay, Lady Steno was a very, very powerful card when it came out, and it's still a powerful card. It's just I don't see a lot of Demon Hunter being played right now. I would keep this card right now. I would imagine that Team 5 wants Demon Hunter to move up on the food chain a little bit more, and I don't know. This was just such a powerful card before. I would not be getting rid of this, at least right now. Nelly the Great Thresher was a great, fun card when it first came out. They did nerf it a bit. I don't see it being useful right now, only because there isn't really like a pirate warrior deck archetype being put together. So I would say, hey, if you really want to start playing stuff now and you had this one and you didn't want it anymore, maybe it's a good idea that you can dust this one. Pirate Admiral Hook Tusk. This was fun as well, but again, this is a rogue card, and rogue cards don't play pirates right now. There's so many other things. Mech Rogue is huge. I would not be playing this card right now. Soul Eater Scythe is also super powerful. I don't know if I would dust this one. I think I would keep this one just in case. I feel that there's hopefully big things coming up for Demon Hunter, and I would just not get rid of this one of how powerful it was back in the day. Halkias. Stealth Death Rattle. Store Halkias' soul inside of a friendly secret. It resummons Halkias when triggered. I don't think I've ever seen this card being played whatsoever. So, I think this one would be safe. Halveria Dark Raven, or as I've never been able to get on my head, thank you, Cora, Halvetica Dark Raven. I would not be getting rid of this card. It's got a low play rate right now, but Demon Hunter's in a weird place, like I said, and this card was amazing. Hopefully we'll get some sort of rush Outcast synergy back again. You know, the mini set's coming up, so I would keep this one, absolutely. Anubricon. It's an undead. Again, Druid, undead, not being played. Other things. This is a powerful card. It made Druid very nutty with the amount of armor it got. I would keep this card. The Jailer. The Jailer, I would be getting rid of. Destroy your deck, this minion gains immune. It used to be, before it was nerfed, that everything on your board was immune. It's just this one right now. I wouldn't be keeping this. I would say, hey, if I needed dust, I would get rid of it. DJ Manastorm. It was a cool concept, but it just never took off. I think I saw it in 1 or 2 decks playable when it first came out, and then it just as soon as it was there, it was gone. So I would say this one would be safe to dust. Raj Nazjan. I'm trying to say these all. I apologize to Team 5 who made these really cool names, and then I'm butchering them. After you cast a spell, deal damage equal to its cost to the enemy hero. I would keep this card. Only because of what the potential of Demon Hunter could be. Tony, King of Piracy. I never liked this card. I know there's so many people that either love this card or hate this card. I would just keep it right now to see if there's any nutty things. Replace your deck with a copy of your opponent's finale, draw a card. It's messy. It's not as good as it used to be. I don't know. I don't know if I'm playing this card, but I also don't know if I'm dusting this card in case of any nutty things happen in the past. Heartbreaker Hedonis. It's a priest. Dust it. No, I'm just kidding. This is a good card, and it was very good when it came through, and Overheal was the big thing. Overheal is a synergy that's coming back a little bit with Naga Priest, but I don't know if this has any place in it. I would maybe hold off until the mini set and see if there's anything worth grabbing on here, but it's not great right now, that's for sure. Lady Death Whisper, Death Rattle, copy all frost spells in your hand. I wouldn't be dusting this one. I like this card, and if it was being used in any type of Death Knight deck, it would be used Frost primarily, and copy all Frost spells in your hand. This card was played by me and used by me, and it had a pretty good win rate, so I wouldn't get rid of this one right now. Okay, I'm gonna skip a little bit, moving back and forth. Rhythm Dancer Risa, it had not seen any play since it came out. I think just once or twice that I saw it just as a, hey, this is a new card, let's see how it works, and then it didn't work, and then no one played it. I'd dust this in a minute. Devourer of Souls. This one was very popular in a couple of Warlock decks, you know, when it first came out. I think I would still keep this just to see what happens with Warlock in the future, but that's just me personally. It doesn't have a lot of play right now, understandably so. Rin, Orchestrator of Doom. Taunt, Death Rattle. Both players draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards, and destroy the top 2 cards of their deck. Get rid of it. I'm personally not playing this card ever. When it first came out, I didn't play it at all. It just wasn't my thing. And listen, your mileage may vary on this. I wouldn't be using this card. Again, skipping around some more. Phantom Lord of the Opera. This card was fun in one type of Warlock deck that's not being played anymore. So if you have it and you really need the dust, you could get rid of it. Also, there's nutty things that you could do with this with the location that summons a copy. I don't know. If you need the dust, it's your decision on this, but if I personally needed dust and I had this as my only legendary option, I would dust it, me personally. Prosecutor Multranix. Get rid of it. Your opponent can only play their left and right most cards on their turn. I'm not seeing this at all being used at all. Even when Demon Hunter wasn't doing really good and they tried to put it in again to see if they could push Demon Hunter higher up on the food chain, it just didn't work. I would not be using this card. Kangor Dancing King. It was fun when it was there, but a 3/3 lifesteal, Death Rattle, swap this with a minion in your hand and give it lifesteal. It has utility, but it's not been played in a long time. So if you want to play Paladin and you have this one, the dust cost for this will give you more options to, go higher up on the ladder if you didn't have this card, because you're not using this card right now. So that's how I would get rid of it. Elite Tauren Champion. I would keep this card and I would use this card. It's a great utility card. It starts a rock duel. Player must spend all their mana each turn or else they take 8 or more damage. It puts pressure on your opponent. Yes, it puts pressure on you, but if you know your deck, you could be using this as a end of the game. If you're fighting the opponent and you have a low win rate against that opponent's class, this could change things. And I've seen it many times change things for the good for you. So I would keep this, and if you had a tech to throw in, I would use this card as a tech. I would not be getting rid of this one. Flame Behemoth. Battlecry. Get 2 random magnetic mechs. They cost 2 less. If you're playing this in, any of the mech synergy decks, I would say keep it. Other than that, no, get rid of it. Jotun the Eternal. Let's look at this. Jotun the Eternal. Battlecry. For the rest of the game, cast a copy of the first spell you draw each turn at enemies. Cool concept. It just never worked out. I tried playing this many times when it first came out, and it felt clunky to me. Even as cool as it looks and as cool as the signature was, it's just not played right now. I would be okay with dusting this one if I needed the dust right now. Starlight Groove, give you Hero Divine Shield. For the rest of the game, playing a holy spell refreshes it. I wouldn't get rid of this one. I wouldn't get rid of this one for its low mana cost, for it being a spell, and the fact is there could be something that comes out that could be used with this. More holy spells you have, giving your Hero Divine Shield doesn't suck. I would say to hold off on dusting this one right now. Okay, there's so many more we could go through. I want to go through just a couple more. I don't want this to be a 25-minute video, but let me know if you guys like seeing these, and I'll go through more of them again. One of 2 that I want to just look at right now is Steward the Steward. Death Rattle. Give the next Silverhand recruit you summon +3/+3 in this Death Rattle. I would not get rid of this one. Silverhand recruits, there's a lot of synergy in the decks being played right now, and I would put this back in again. I would say that there's a possibility that we could see this again. I would keep this one personally. Bounce Around, featuring Garona. Return all friendly minions to your hand. They cost 1 this turn. I would keep this one as well. I think there could be something out there that this has potential. I would keep this one. The One Amalgam Band. I was never a huge fan of this. Listen, it's great, and you gain a random bonus effect for each minion of a different type you've played this game. But the problem is, you have to have a lot of stuff in your hand. I mean, a lot of stuff in your deck. You know, a lot of different minions that don't have a ton of synergy with each other. It's just a little messy to me. So if I needed dust and this is the only card I had, I would be okay with dusting this one, 100%. Inza, I think this card is good. I think you should keep this card just for what the potential of Shaman is going to be in a couple of weeks, in a couple of months, what have you. Vexalis. Arcane spells cast twice. It's an elemental. There's potential here. I kind of might keep this one a little bit. You know, there was, for at least the past 30 days, past 60 days, there has been an elemental mage that has been pretty good, at least for the budget deck players. And I might keep this one of both the synergies and then the spell synergies. I would keep this. And then for my last card right now, and I'm a little upset about this one, and I've talked about this one probably more than any other card since it came out, is Algalon the Observer. I thought it was an amazing card. If you've seen anything I did when this card was announced, content-wise, you saw me talking about how awesome this card was, how much potential this card has. Guess what? It didn't have the potential. It didn't work. It was a cool concept. I loved the idea of, especially with Plague Death Knight, you know, putting this in the deck and then controlling what your opponent was going to get, helping to get more of the plagues out, and it just did not work. I tried it. I would say I would be okay with dusting this. I'm still going to try to get this to work. I love this card, and it's a shame it's not being played. Maybe there's a possibility in the future this will have some play potential, but I doubt it. I would not hold my breath. It's just not going anywhere. Yeah, it's safe to dust. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you for watching the video. Let me know if you want me to do this again. There's more. There's hundreds of cards that we can go through to see if we should be dusting some of these. And remember, like I said, please, 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 the caveat to this is there's a new mini set coming. The new expansion's going to be here before you know it. Everything's going to change because there's probably going to be a core set refresh. So some of these might be a little bit different and they might be busted now and not being used now, but amazing in 2 months or amazing in 4 weeks. So your mileage may vary on this, and I will see you all in the next video.